So converting customary units of weight, right? There's just two things you need to know: that 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, and that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So if you still have your notebook or your Post-it note or whatever you wrote that on last time, you should write this down as well. This is a cheat sheet. You would write down just that one, or you could write down. And you can write it this way: 2,000 pounds, whatever you want. Oops. Equals 1 ton, and 16 ounces equals 1 pound. That rationale, well, 1 ton equals how many ounces? Well, you would just simple take, because you're going from 1 ton to ounces, you're going from bigger or larger to smaller, you're going to multiply, right? So you multiply 2,000 times 16 and you get 32,000 ounces, which is a lot of ounces. All right, so yeah, that's what you need to know right here. That's just a separate conversion, but 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. The other thing that you need to know, which is the same as before, I'm going to put this on the left-hand side, is when you go from larger to smaller, you have to multiply. I'll shrink that so it fits on one page, or one line, should I say. And when you go from smaller to larger, divide. And again, it is not the number, smaller to larger. I think that's one thing that we've gotten caught up on. I talked to 2 students about that, which is understandable, but it is just the unit. So if we are going, so I'm going to keep scrolling down now as we talk about this lesson. All right, it has to do with the unit. So if we are talking about, let's say, 3 pounds to blank ounces, well, we have to ask ourselves, we're going from pounds to ounces. So which one is bigger, pounds or ounces? Pounds or ounces? Pounds is bigger. So therefore, we're going larger to smaller. It is going to be a multiplication equation because pounds is larger than ounces. It is the unit. I will repeat myself again. That is the important thing when you know whether to multiply or divide, right? So you would do this problem as 3 times 16 to figure out how many ounces is in 3 pounds, all right? And yes, you would get the answer of 48. It's 48 ounces, all right? Just like if we were doing it this way. What if we had, let's say, 3.2 tons to, now I'll do it this way. Let's do 3.2 tons, 3.2, I'll do this, 3,000, let's do this, 3,200 tons, pounds to tons. I purposely gave you a little bit more of a challenging problem here, all right? 3,200 pounds to tons. Well, the first thing you have to figure out is, are you going to multiply or divide? Which one is larger? So tons are larger. So you're going from smaller to larger, so you're going to divide, and you know that 2,000 pounds is in 1 ton, so it's a division problem. You would do 3,200 divided by 2,000. And that might seem crazy at first, except you know fractions. So I'm actually going to do an annotation here to help you. I would write this as 3,200 divided by 2,000. And I know I can simplify by dividing both of these things by 100, which would put me 32 over 20. And then what I can do again is I can now divide this by 4. So let me do that over here. I'll do 32 divide over 20 divided by 4. To simplify, I will get 8 over 5. And therefore, I will convert that into 1 3/5. So my answer here, 3,200 pounds equals 1 3/5 tons. Now, I know that might be more complicated, but this fraction over here was our last unit of dividing fractions. The two things you need to know when you are solving these kind of problems, you need to know, are you going from smaller to larger or larger to smaller? All right, and then you have to know, what is your conversion rate? All right, and the conversion rate is always going to be what comes up top. Here's your conversion rate when you're talking about pounds and ounces and tons. Okay, so one thing else, let's look at some, I'll shrink this, not the terrible scary metric system. We can look at these problems in our notebook right now. And I just want you guys to follow along with me. You should have a pencil out. We're going to do 3 problems together. All right, I'm going to do problems number 4, 5, and 6 right here. So for problem number 4, first thing I have to figure out, are we going from larger to smaller or smaller to larger? I have a pound and I have an ounce. Which one's bigger? I'm going to put an L here. Larger, smaller. So when I know when I go from larger to smaller, I'm going to multiply. So this equation is 2 1/2 times, well, how many ounces in a pound? 16. And what's that going to equal? That is going to equal, you can do this work. You can turn this into 5 over 2 times 16 over 1. Right? You can simplify this, becomes an 8. This becomes 1, and you would get 4. So you would get 40 ounces for number 4. I simplified these fractions over here by dividing each of those by 2. So let's not forget that that's how we solve those. So let me skip, I'm going to skip over 5 because pounds to ounces, similar thing. So now let's look at 6. 224 ounces equals how many pounds? Well, which one's larger? Pounds are larger, ounces are smaller. You're going to go from smaller to larger. That's going to be a division problem. So you do 224 divided by 16. All right, if you're not sure exactly how to do those calculations, you could divide by 2 first. You could divide by 4 if you want. You could actually, I would probably do the 4 just because I'm not sure how to do the rest in my head. If I divide the bottom number by 4, I get 4. If I divide the top number to simplify this by 4, I would get 50. Oh, can I divide that by 4? I can, right? 24, so I would get 20, so it would be 56 over 4, right? It looks like I can divide this one again by 4, actually. So 56 divided by 4, 56 divided by 4 is going to be actually 16. So this would be 16 over 1, and this would be 16 pounds equals 224 ounces. Let me get out of here.